Hello everyone, it's Sandra and welcome to today's video. I am talking favorites today. I have a lot of beauty products that I've really been loving over the last several weeks and I can't wait to share them with you. Now I must admit this summer I have been probably the least adventurous when it comes to makeup. Last summer I feel like I was a lot more adventurous. I remember I bought that pink Pat McGrath palette and I was really having so much fun doing all these looks with it. But this summer I've just been kind of a creature of habit and really just doing the same look every single day. Yeah, I've just really been into my routine. I've been loving it and it's time to share the products that have stood out to me. First is the only skincare item in this video. I love it and I'm excited to tell you about it. So this is the new Youth to the People Clay Mask. The full name, we know Youth to the People really love their long product names. So this is the Superclay Purify and Clear Power Mask. It's a clay mask. There's niacinamide and salicylic acid in here. It's just this beautiful dark gray clay texture. Completely fragrance free, which I love. It doesn't stink. It doesn't smell like fragrance. It just has like a very faint kind of, I guess it just smells like clay, right? It's just like a very faint earthy type of scent. I would just call this a kind of like an unscented product, you know? Probably one of the best clay masks that I've ever used. Bold statement, because I love my clay masks, especially in the summertime. I do have combination oily skin and I do like to have a clay mask on hand to use a couple times a week, especially, you know, focusing on my T-zone, and I find that they really help kind of refine my pores a bit and they kind of help manage my oil production throughout the week. Like I said, I've been using it maybe 2-3 times a week. It never irritates my skin. It never leaves my skin feeling dry or stripped or crusty. It just leaves my skin feeling super soft, refines my pores a bit, has helped kind of control my oil production, and I just really love it. I think if you are an oily girl, oily combination girl, and you're looking for a new clay mask to use a couple of times a week to kind of help counteract the oiliness, I definitely think that this is worth a try. I've just been loving it so much. And yeah, before that, the clay mask that I used to like for this purpose was the Caudalie one. I think it was called the Caudalie Instant Detox Mask. That one was really nice too. Again, I like the fact that it did the job without feeling too drying or too stripping, but I like this one better because this one leaves my skin feeling softer. I think because of the added BHA in there, I definitely feel like it does help a little bit more, help me manage any congested pores, and it just leaves my skin feeling so soft and delightful. I have been steering from one of my project pan items. I haven't really been using my Lila B bronzer that I'm trying to use up. I've just been craving more of a contoured bronzing look, which is what I tend to go for as we get in deeper through summer. And I've just been reaching for my Marc Jacobs bronzer again. I've been reaching for this every single day and I love it. This is the shade 104 Tan-Tastic. This was like the original coconut bronzer from the Coconut collection. Not sure if it's still available. I know Marc Jacobs Beauty is kind of going through a transition period right now. We're going to be seeing some type of shift. I'm not sure if the formulas, the shades will stay the same, maybe the packaging will change, not sure. But that was just worth mentioning that I've just been loving this bronzer, and I know that so many of you have this bronzer as well. This has been such a cult favorite over the years, and maybe if you have this and you haven't pulled it out in a while like I did, maybe this will be a great reminder to pull this out again, show it some love while we have it in our lives, because it's a really great bronzer. It's a matte bronzer, but it's not too powdery, not too chalky, and it really just gives that perfect contoured bronze effect. And I've been using this in my crease as well on days in which I'm really lazy. I don't feel like doing an eyeshadow look. Throwing some bronzer in the crease is always just like the easiest way to look a little bit more put together. So I've been loving this stuff. For complexion, Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Concealer. I have been reaching for this so much. I have not been showing love to any of my other like under eye concealers because I just can't stop using this. I love to use this underneath the eyes. I just think it's such a beautiful, beautiful concealer for under the eyes. It doesn't have as much coverage as the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric Concealer. It's not as much coverage as the Pat McGrath concealer that I really like. Less coverage, but it just looks really, really natural under the eyes. It just gives me such a beautiful, seamless look, and it works really well with the lighter coverage bases that I tend to go for in the summertime. Because I think if I'm using a really, really lightweight, light coverage base, and then if I do a full coverage concealer under the eyes, sometimes the difference between the full coverage under the eyes and the sheer coverage of the face can be a bit too stark. So by using a more sheer concealer under the eyes, I can get a more natural effect. And if I'm really in a rush, I can use this all over the face as well, and it looks really, really beautiful and luminous. Not the most long lasting, because obviously I do have oily combination skin, so if I use this all over my face, you know, I can only really wear it for like 4 hours, but if I'm in a rush, I need to go to the grocery store or something like that, and I just need to throw on some concealer, this works beautifully all over the face. But I mainly use this as an under eye concealer, or just like a under eyes / center of the face to brighten just a little bit, because I do have this in a shade that's slightly lighter than the rest of my face. I have this in shade 4.5, so there's a dot of it right there. 4.5 I'd say is like a nice neutral. It's like a light medium neutral shade. Just blends out like a dream. I honestly like the concealer better than the Luminous Silk Foundation, and I like the Luminous Silk Foundation a lot, but the concealer is where it's at for me, and I don't think it gets that much love on the internet. Definitely it doesn't get as much love as the foundation does, but this is so, so good. I have not been able to stop wearing it. All right, now moving on to eyeshadow. There's only been one eyeshadow quad that I've been reaching for. Whether or not I have bronzer in the crease, you know, sometimes I just put bronzer in the crease and I leave it at that. But if I want a little bit of extra shimmer, a little bit of extra something something, this has been my go-to, and it's Tom Ford Nude Dip. I usually am really into warm eyeshadows, and this is more on the neutral / slightly cooler tone side of things, but I've just been loving it so much. I'm wearing it today, and usually on an everyday basis, what I do is I just do the Marc Jacobs bronzer in the crease, and then I just mix these two shades together and I just buff them all over the lid, and then I do a little bit of this color, just kind of like an eyeliner almost, just to smoke out the lash line, top and bottom. And then if I use it at night, then I add a little bit of more of this color on the lid as well, and then a little bit of this in the outer corner to give myself a smokier look. I just love this palette so much. It's definitely a classic. It's an older product, but it's a classic. They still make it, and there hasn't been a Tom Ford quad that has enticed me as much as this. And then I have the Coco Mirage, which I think now is discontinued, but I'm good. I haven't been tempted by any other Tom Ford quad. I feel like the two that I have kind of just cover all my bases, and this is just so, so, so stunning. And if you have not tried this yet, I definitely think it's worth a splurge, because the quality is phenomenal. You can use these wet or dry. You know, if you really, really want to amp up the shine, you can use them with a wet brush for that really high impact metallic look, but most of the time I just wear them dry for a more subtle effect, but I absolutely love them, and it's just such a good quad. Such a good quad. I finally bought REPHR eyeshadow brushes. They have been on my wish list forever, but I don't know, I don't really buy eyeshadow brushes or makeup brushes that often. I tend to be pretty happy with what I have, but my MAC 219 pencil brush had seen better days. I think that brush is maybe 12, 13 years old, and I wanted something a little bit smaller, a little bit more precise, and the REPHR smoky pencil brushes are fantastic. So I bought the 03 brush, which is kind of like REPHR's answer to the MAC 219. It's a really, really beautiful, fine tip pencil brush. It is smaller and more precise than the MAC 219, and it is also a lot softer. And this is just my ideal brush for applying eyeshadow on the lower lash line for smoking out eyeliner on the upper lash line. I just love this so much, and it's totally worth the hype for me. I absolutely love this brush. So if you've also been like me and kind of like been on the fence on these brushes for a while, and it's time to take the plunge, you feel like you could upgrade some of your eyeshadow brushes, I love the REPHR 03 brush. And then I also bought the 23 brush, which is even smaller. So as you can see here, the comparison between the two. While the 23 brush is, again, amazing for any precision smoking out work along the lash line, what I've really been loving this for is for pinpoint concealing any blemishes. And if you followed me for a while, you'll know that my go-to concealer for blemishes, if I have active pimples, the Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage has been my go-to for over a decade. I use this in shade SE3, and I just found that this brush is the perfect companion with my Laura Mercier concealer. This just does such a beautiful, beautiful job at depositing the pigment of the concealer, but because it's, you know, you have that sharp tip so you can get that precise application, but it is a softer bristled brush, so you can kind of buff out the edges and just blend it out really beautifully with the rest of your complexion makeup. And I've just been so happy with this combination. Now moving on to the lip product category, this has definitely been the summer of lip combinations for me. I've been really into layering them all depending on my mood and my vibe for the day. So I'll kind of start off with the base. And the base almost always has been Laura Mercier Chestnut lip liner. This is a beautiful, beautiful lip liner. It's like the perfect balance between slightly warm brown, but there's a little bit of mauve to it. It's just a very, very, very good color. If you like Lancome Bronzelle and Lancome Natural Mauve, this is kind of like the love child of the two. So this has been my go-to lip liner this month. And then the next step is this beautiful lip stain. This is by the brand Au Naturel. They are a indie beauty brand, and they did this color in collaboration with Rachel from The Beauty Professor. Rachel from The Beauty Professor is one of my oldest beauty blogger friends. I have been a fan of her blog for so many years. She's also the queen of like a really good pinky peach lip. So she came out with this beautiful, beautiful shade called LA by the company Au Naturel. And this is such a beautiful lip stain. It's like a cream product, kind of applies like a liquid lipstick, but it doesn't feel like a liquid lipstick in that it's not drying at all. It does have a very nice velvety matte finish, but it really does leave a beautiful stain behind. So I find that this with the Laura Mercier lip liner, I just dab a little bit of this and just kind of rub it into my lips to really just kind of work that stain in. And that creates the most beautiful base that kind of lasts all day. And then I just layer stuff on top of it throughout the day depending on my mood. Usually I don't like warm pink lip colors because I find that they make my teeth look yellow, but this doesn't do that. It's got like the perfect balance. So I'm wearing it today with the Laura Mercier Chestnut lip liner, and then today I did a little bit of gloss on top, and I use this Shiseido UV lip splash. This is a really, really great product that has SPF in it. It's a lip gloss and lip balm in one. It has SPF 30 in it. It doesn't smell like sunscreen. It doesn't taste like anything. And it actually feels really nice and moisturizing. And I have this in the shade Uluru Red. And I got this from Yes Style, and it was half off. If you're going to buy it from Yes Style, wait for them to go on sale. But this is the shade Uluru Red. So this is kind of what I've got going on my lips right now. So you can just see this beautiful stain left behind, and then as the day goes on, I just kind of top it off with a gloss. I also have the shade Miami Pink. So if I'm feeling more of like a pink vibe, I will go with the pink. So that's the Shiseido UV lip splash in the shade Miami Pink. If I don't want a gloss, but I still want some moisture, I will do my Hermes Rose Tan lip enhancer, which I also really, really love. This is like my favorite My Lips But Better color Still absolutely obsessed with this. Or if I want more of like a traditional lipstick look, Lisa Eldridge Kitten Mischief has been another go-to. So as you can see, these are kind of all along the same lines, but they've just been making me so happy. They all layer really beautifully together, and this has just been my go-to color story so far this summer. I've just been all about easy, comfortable, easy to layer lip colors, and oh my goodness, these are all so good. One more product to talk about before the sun totally goes down and ruins my lighting mojo. This is one of the best hairstyling products I've tried in a very long time. I'm very picky with my hairstyling products because I have very fine, thin hair, and especially when it comes to volumizing products, a lot of them let me down, but this does not do that. This certainly delivers, and it's the Balmain Texturizing Volume Spray. This is fantastic. As you can see, I mean, this is all my hair. I have very fine, thin hair, and this just makes it look like I've got more hair than I actually do. It just gives super weightless volume without feeling crunchy or sticky. It doesn't feel like I have any product in my hair at all. And it just, if you're into that like messy tousled hair look, I like this better than the Oribe texture spray. I mean, the Oribe texture spray is mainly a texture spray. That one will add texture. But if you're looking for volume, go for this. It does give a little bit of texture. What really blows me away with this is just like the airy volume that this adds. This is like the perfect second day hair product for me to just kind of bring some more life into my hair. And again, if you're into that like tousled, messy, kind of slightly rock and roll hair, you will really like this. It's fantastic. It smells really good too. It's got like it's like a perfumey type of floral scent. And yeah, this is really good. I honestly didn't know really what to expect from Balmain hair products. I don't hear too much about them. And initially I was like, oh, is this gonna be like a gimmicky type of thing? But absolutely not. This is one of the best hairstyling products that I've tried. And I've just been kind of like addicted to putting it in my hair. And oh, actually I have one more thing, very random thing, but I bought, I had stopped buying beauty blenders for several years. I had switched over to the Real Techniques complexion sponge, which is fantastic. But the last 4 Real Techniques complexion sponges that I had purchased all disintegrated a lot faster than I remember. They all just kind of, they would just crumble. They would just crumble within maybe a couple of months of using. And I don't remember that happening with the Beauty Blender. So my favorite Beauty Blender is the black one, the Beauty Blender Pro. This one is dirty and needs to be washed. But yeah, I've just kind of switched back to the Beauty Blender and I'm really happy with it. I'm really loving it. I've had it for a month now and it still looks and performs just as well as it did originally. But this time I also bought the little holder for it as well. And it's this beautiful little silicone holder. It's got holes in it for ventilation. And I have been loving this little beauty blender holder. Back with my Real Techniques complexion sponge, I had purchased the Real Techniques holder, but that one was like a hard plastic one. And that one, I dropped it on the floor a couple of times and then it ended up cracking and breaking. This one, I won't have the problem with it because this is silicone, so it's totally flexible. It's big enough to hold the sponge when it's wet. It fits in really beautifully. This will be great for travel. Kind of like a gimmicky product, but it really does serve a purpose, and I've just been using it as my little beauty blender holder to let it dry in peace without kind of disturbing anything else because it has these ventilation holes. So I thought this was pretty clever. So yeah, I've just been really loving this little thing, and just a spur of the moment. I thought it would be a spur of the moment addition in my favorites video because I really do love this and it's one of my favorites. So yeah, that's about it for me. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and for watching this video. As always, I'll be catching up with you in the comment section below. I hope you're having a great day and I will see you in my next video. Bye.